going on YouTube? It's your boy Kerry Too Smooth, man. Hope you've had a great weekend. Whatever you were doing, if you were just playing, if you were hanging out, whatever it was, hopefully it was a great weekend. I want to come back and I want to show you guys some really cool stuff. So today's lesson, what we're going to be focusing on is how we can take one progression and really just put our hands in this progression. What I mean is, like, it's really cool to learn songs. It's really cool to go and blaze through songs and be like, I know this song, but not taking the attention to detail to really massage the nuances of a song to really just make sure you have it. You can play it with feeling, you can play it with conviction. And then after you get it, you can experiment with some different kind of stuff. So the way you have the song, the way you know it inside and out, you can play it. So one of my favorite all-time progressions is Jaheim, Finding My Way Back. And I love this song because, again, I just love the way that the guitar is kind of like present in the song. It's really based upon like guitar, but I just love the focus of how the guitar sounds. And so what I want to do is I just want to focus on that half of the song before we get to the bridge. That's really where we're going to put a lot of attention and detail to. Before I jump into that lesson, I wanted to say, if you really love the stuff that I'm teaching and how I'm teaching, I encourage you to go to kerrytoosmooth.com. I have some really cool free courses, and I've got some paid courses that will definitely get you where you want to be when it comes to R&B. I have an acoustic series, and I also have a beginner R&B course that I just made available that's going to really help get you to where you want to be. So if you like the stuff that we're teaching here on YouTube, this stuff is going to take you to the next level. All right, so let's take a listen to the song, and then I'm going to get in and show you specifically what we're doing. So here we go. 1 second. All right, cool. So I mean, I love that progression. People ask me like, okay, what's one of your favorite progressions? This probably will be one of my favorite. I sound check on this a lot of times when like guitar player, can you sound check? This is probably one of my go-tos that I sound check on. So this song is in the key of C. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the four chord, which is really that F major 7. To that E minor 7, to that D minor. Now we're not doing a full minor 7 on that D minor. We're taking that note out. More of a softer approach. So downstroke, upstroke, that hammer on, then that little pickup. C major 7. And what we're doing when we do that sus4 chord is essentially we're doing a G triad. With our thumb, we're playing that A in the bass. Now this is a really cool chord. And essentially what I'm doing is it's like I'm playing an F sharp minor 7. But what I'm doing is I'm using my middle finger. And with the last these two notes on the 5th and the 6th string, so I'm getting that note. So again, back to the top. So it's really important when you're playing this song, the attention to detail, like the attack of the strings, like knowing when to hit downstroke, when to upstroke. So when you hear at the beginning, you're hearing this, like you gotta pop the strings so the way you get that attack. I'm doing like a reverse arpeggiation. So that's the individual notes, right? But you could also do a double stop movement if you wanted to. We're doing that hammer on. Then that bounce. It's a really cool progression. Like I said, again, I use this progression every time I need to sound check because, again, number one, it's so soulful enough, and then it's clean enough to where when people are like, the sound guy wants to make sure that the clarity of the guitar comes through. It's a perfect progression. So I use the progression like literally for my sound checks all the time. There's some nuances that I want you to focus on, like just like I said, the dynamics of striking the string. Hammer on. Now, like I was telling you before, like what you could start to do is just start to experiment with the song. So now that we kind of know it, I can start to mess around a little bit with it. So I might do some stuff like this. Once you start experimenting with it, again, it's just you just trying to figure out what you can add to the song, what you can take out of the song, so that way you can just see what versatility you can bring to the song. You know, you don't even have to just necessarily stay in that progression. You can just do various things with some of the chords from the progression. Stuff like that or whatever, because you're just challenging yourself after you already have the progression by using some of the same chords that were in the song. So like I said, again, it's a really cool lesson. I want you to start taking the time and attention to detail to not just blaze through a song, but really just live with the progression, so that way you can start to like really just have it underneath your hand so you can play it like you know it and not like you just learned it. That's a completely different thing when playing like you know something versus when you just learn it.